I'm so thankful that compared to last month for my reading wrap up that I can easily hold my manga stack here, that it's not gonna feel like it's gonna topple over, but even if it wasn't quite as big, there were so many great reads. Hello friends, happy Friday. So very excited that you're here. I am talking about all the things I read in the month of February. And according to my reading journal, which I had to fill out yesterday, I roughly read about 21 different titles. And surprisingly, I read a lot of digital. I was really surprised, honestly. It doesn't even include everything. Like, I didn't include First Love, Worst Love, Magical Girl Dandelion, Playing the Vixen on K manga. I think I read like 3 to 4 chapters of that. Man, it's really good, but I really hate that it's giving a breakdown where you have to use one ticket for 4 parts of one chapter. So they split up into 4 parts, and I really don't like that. It really eats away at the reading experience a lot for me, but I enjoyed that, and I don't think there was any other digital things that I read that are not volume-wise that I included on here. And I guess we'll just go ahead and dive right in, talk about all the digital stuff. Well, we will talk about, though, first, I caught up on the Remarried Empress, and I did mention, I think, in a manga news video that I was really scared that it was the final volume or final chapter, because if you look on the app, I think it says chapter whatever, and it says finale, season finale. And I was like, what? I was not expecting it to be like coming up that fast. So I read, I think it was roughly 7 chapters. And I will say, I'm very thankful that the next week they had official updates saying, hey, there was some miscommunication or misunderstanding, confusion. That's not the season finale. Yes, that season is over, but there will be side stories. I don't know when, and I'm very salty that WebToons has pushed this series into either you have to use coins or have to watch ads to read it. Where I'm like, okay, yes, the main story's over, but like it's big and firm, there will be side stories. So I was a little bit salty, but I think overall, I really enjoyed the ending. It just felt so wrapped up so quickly because where I stopped, we're in the middle of finding out the backstory of this one character, and it was, it was a lot. It was a lot. I feel like I like that character, but that character is very shady, and so I feel like it offered insight into why they're acting the way that they are. And there was like, after that, we did get some explanation on one thing when it came to Henry, and I did appreciate that as well. And so even though I felt like there was a lot of loose ends, which based off the comments is very faithful to the original novel, and there's like 100 side stories that wrap up officially everything with all of the different characters. With that said, and with that in mind, I did really like the final chapter. I feel like it's Navier's story, and I just feel like there was one specific moment, conversation, and scene that made me tear up because you can see the happiness that Navier has had by Henry's side. You can see how she's changed, who she was in the beginning to who she is now. She is 100% happier, and so I do feel in that sense, it was a beautiful and wonderful ending. And I'm very excited for those side stories because I want to see what's going on with different characters, certain romances. Would just be overall very curious as to what's to come. And that wasn't the only manhwa that I read. So I did mention in a previous manga news video that the manhwa Act Like You Love Me got picked up in English. It's going to be published by WebToons Unscrolled, and so I went and checked it out. I read 26 chapters of this. It was hilarious. I have not come back to it, unfortunately, not because I didn't like it. I loved it, and it's just because I am conflicted if I should keep going digital or if I should pick it up physical, because that's just how fun it was. If I can, I'll leave a link to the corner because I talked about what the story is about and whatnot, but it's just a great one if you're looking for what seems maybe could be a love triangle. I really like both the male leads. They're both great. They're opposite, and there's some backstory. There's something that has happened though. There's really tainted this friendship, and I'm sort of worried and curious all at the same time. And the female lead, I will say in a nutshell, she gets a plushie from when she worked at a convenience store, and this guy's trying to play with this knockoff plushie and a pair of handcuffs he got from like one of those crane game machines. And she's like so mad, rightfully so, because she had to pay with her own real money money to cover that expense, and she's being very, very frugal because she's trying to save up for an apartment or a house to live with her mom. We'll come to find out this plushie can actually control, to a degree, the main male lead. He's a very famous actor, and so it leads to plenty of shenanigans in these first 26 chapters. Again, I'm really conflicted to get it physically or not. It might just ultimately come down to budget, but I do need to come back to it. Just the day that I read it, I could not stop reading. The story was so fun and engaging and very addictive, so I would definitely recommend it. You can read it on the WebToons app. You just have to either use coins or watch with ads, unfortunately. For other digital things, I actually had a first impression on this, and that is A Marriage of Lies with a Wolf Prince. I reviewed volume 1 because it's officially on Manga Plaza. So excited. My unlicensed faves are no longer unlicensed, though please, after reading this first volume, I need it physically. It was everything I had been hoping it would be. Very beautiful. Love the art. Love our leads very much. It's like a slow burn kind of story in the sense of they've been pushed into this arranged marriage, or more of a political marriage than anything. And I love how earnest she is. She's trying so hard, and her stepmom and her step-siblings, her sisters, are just... they are awful. Could not stand them at all. But happy things, and so I really love how their romance is blooming, unfolding. I feel it's gonna be one of those tropes of how do you fall in love with the person you're already married to kind of thing. You can definitely see they are falling for each other, so really, really love that. Not only did I do a first impression of this, and I'll leave the video link here in case you'd like to check it out, but I also reviewed volume 1 of Gus and Beats, and that was fantastic. I actually read volume 2 probably a week ago. I still need to write my review on Goodreads, and man, it just gets better. The shenanigans, I guess you would say the paranormal shenanigans, are definitely there, but there's so much heart, and the art style is beautiful. It is so very good. I read volume 2 so incredibly slow. Pretty sure I read volume 1 slow as well, but I read volume 2 at night. I started at like 9, and I didn't finish till sometime like 10:30, 11 o'clock. Y'all, this is a 1-volume series at that or 1 volume I was reading. And yes, there were times I got distracted because my kiddo was up and my husband was up and they would talk to me, but like I noticed consciously just pausing just to appreciate the art and how the emotions are conveyed. Like volume 2 just started with so much intensity and our male leads like making things known, and it was very, very good. I would say if like you were hoping for volume 1 that there'd be some romance, you're starting to see that in volume 2. Lots of things are coming out. I spoke so highly of it, of volume 1, or spoke so highly about volume 1 in that first impression video because it was truly amazing, and very much hoping that we get this physically picked up because it was fantastic. It was fantastic. When it comes to reading on like an app, I did read Tell Me Dear Butler. Fantastic. Read volume 1 and volume 2. I loved it. I actually have a first impression coming up either next Friday or the Friday afterward, depending on how things go with a certain surprise that's coming. But yes, that, oh my goodness, I loved it. I ultimately ended up saying Tell Me Dear Butler was my favorite read of last month, even though Marriage of Lies with a Wolf Prince, I loved it so much. I mean, it would be definitely easily, quickly number 2, but Tell Me Dear Butler, like last week, every single day, I was just reading 1 chapter. There's only 9 chapters available, okay? And yet here I am just rereading them over and over. The last time I did this and was so obsessed with the manga on there, it was with Glasses with a Chance of Delinquent. So yeah, I love it. I had to say it was my favorite read of last month. I truly think that the story continues to get better. It's addictive right from the start. I love the leads. I love their interactions. I love the whole butler and wealthy heir kind of thing. It's all so good. Like truly a beautiful blend of storytelling and the art, and I cannot wait for that video to go live so you can see how much I gushed about it, because when I talked about my manga news video last week, I believe I mentioned that I was under the weather at the time of filming, and I just feel I did not have my usual excitement and energy, and it was just like, dude, this is one of my favorite reads of the month. It deserves the hype and the time and the tension. And I will say, speaking of hype, I really feel that the hype was real for this. Truly, please, somebody pick it up and print it. I need it. I definitely need it. And then the last thing that I read was digital is the Love That's Understatement Volume 7. We finally got it, and it was wonderful, though I will say it was probably my least favorite volume in this series. Still great. Gave it 4 stars. Don't get me wrong, okay? The love triangle, I like the second male lead, but he just had a little bit too much page time, and I really wanted Risa and Zen to have a lot more cute moments. Don't get me wrong, though. The beginning, when they go on a date, yes, I was eating that up. And I really did like the character growth that we see in Risa specifically, of when something has happened and she is really caught up in her head of like what to do, what to do. I love how she realizes she can go to Zen, she can open up her heart to him and tell him her feelings, even if she's mad or scared and doesn't know what to do, he will listen. And sure enough, he had a solution. I was really excited how all of that came about, even if I'm like second male lead. Please back up, buddy. Please back up. Don't have quite as much page time, but I took the creator's words to heart, and I'm not going to hold it against him. I'm going to believe he's going to change, and I do think ultimately he is sort of like a good guy, like once you get to see him. But I'm like, bro, you can't be doing what you're doing and be like, oh, I'm just doing this for whatever reason, when obviously it's coming from you being jealous, bud. We know, we see it, you need to acknowledge it. But let's go ahead and dive into the physical things I read, starting off with Viz Media / Shojo Beat. I read Kakurio Bed and Breakfast for Spirits, Volume 11. Really enjoyed it. I so wish this series released 10 times faster. I was very nervous when Aoi has been taken to a new setting, a new place. Goodness though, the people there are, the yokai there are horrible. Like, if I thought her original experience with the Odana in this yokai world was bad, no. It looks like a walk in the park compared to how she's being treated. So a lot of frustration in the beginning. Not Aoi, not the story, just how she is being treated. But we got a special guest that came on this scene. Loved it. Easily one of my favorite scenes, favorite chapters of the whole volume. That was fantastic. And I wish I could say more, but just know it will be wonderful. You will enjoy it. I am looking forward because based off of how it ended, you know Aoi is going to convince these people. She's going to win them over through her food. Like, I have no doubts. Like, we're already starting to see that because certain people come to her and they're like, hey, we need your help. We have seen how you've been in the volume thus far. And I'm like, yes. Go to her and change your ways, treat her better because you need her and you need to get over your prejudice here of the humans and, you know, let this wonderful human actually work here and help you out. And Aoi being her super amazing self, she says yes. So I'm excited for the next volume and them gonna be changing their ways, changing their tune because they're gonna be won over by her food. And I will just say, as a friendly reminder to all of us, if you're reading this series, always have a snack on hand or read it after you have eaten because the food looks so amazing. And I was very hungry when reading, but it was so good. Very excited that we got a new volume and that I deeply loved it. Next up is Twisted Wonderland, but this is the one that's centering around my house warden. If I was in the world of Twisted Wonderland, and that is Azul, and I really enjoyed this volume a lot. It was so much fun to see Jade and Floyd and all of their craziness and how they be scaring people. Really was thriving reading this, and I love you in this volume and in this series. This you, I should say, that's in this series. He is great. I love his earnestness. I love how he was able to win Leona over with his food. Like, yes. Speaking of Leona, there were so many pages and panels I took of him on it where he just had such a great smile. Like, I felt I was thriving, honestly, reading those moments. And there was also another character, I don't think I should say who it is, but they had a really nice smile. You could start to see Azul sort of losing it and going a little bit unhinged. I'm not sure if volume 3 will be the last, but I will definitely be tuning in to see what happens. Another faithful adaptation of the game, so I do know, but just seeing it on page has been really exciting because the art is just so good and a lot of fun, and love all the different expressions and seeing how they're all coming together and trying to undo what has been happening due to the contract that everybody signed. Like, it's been great, and again, just can't wait to see what happens next. I do feel bad because I do feel like there was any, sorry I have to do like this because I forgot to cover it. If there was any volume that I really didn't connect with, it was this one, and I think it's the timing, not the manga itself, because I have read it before, and that is Sakura Saku by Iosaki Saka. I was originally going to read this last month when I asked Patreon channel members which series should I read. This series won, and I was very excited. I have the whole thing except for the very final volume, which was on order at my library. I read this and I just couldn't get into it. In fact, I didn't enjoy it as much as I did the first time, which is weird because Saku is an amazing character. I love everything about her. I feel like this series should just be like a total Lara series, but I think because my birthday was coming up and I was so like gung-ho set on reading my unlicensed faves, I think it was just the timing more than anything else. I'm not going to come back to the series right away, but I really hope that the next time that I read it, that I really connect with it and could read further and be excited to read further. This is another volume, and it's my last Viz Media volume that I have, and that's Twisted Wonderland, the Book of Scaribia, and I absolutely love this. Also did a first impression on this, though it's not up. It's with the same video as Tell Me, Dear Butler, coming out soon, but it was fantastic. It is my favorite Twisted Wonderland volume yet, which is crazy because I do feel that this thus far has been my favorite because of, like, that's my dorm right there. And I just love all the characters, and I love the characters in this one too, but I mentioned in my Goodreads review and in more in-depth in that first impression video that I really love the art style. It's a lot softer, and it just gave me shoujo-like vibes, which I hesitate to say because I realize this is serializing in G Fantasy, a shonen magazine, depending on who you talk to. We won't argue about the demographics of the magazine, but it really does have that softer art style that, I don't know, it works so well for our you in this one, who is a female this time around, and that is our sweet Gairu. I loved her. She definitely is very much, I know, part of why this is my favorite, because she's just so vibrant and so happy, and I think it works so well in terms of how Kalim is as a character, and then being the total opposite of Jamil. There were just so many different parts that I really felt just brought the game, this part of the game, to life in such an exciting way, and I can't wait for that video to go live and just gush a whole bunch about it, because the Aladdin moments were some of my favorite, like Aladdin inspired moments were some of my favorites, and I'm hoping and so stoked that we get volume 2 very soon, because this was wonderful. Next up is Kodansha, and I feel bad, this is my least favorite volume in the series, and that is volume 16 of A Condition Called Love. Hear me out, I still love it. Y'all, seeing Hotaru's heart broken was devastating. It was very hard to get through this series, or this volume, excuse me, not because it was bad or the art change or the story change in terms of like how it's written, like storytelling wise. It was all great. It was perfect in that, but man, just the aftermath, the decisions that were made, and my heart could not handle it, y'all. It could not handle it. Just shout it to Sensei for having a very hopeful ending in this volume. It leaves me hopeful for volume 17 that things are going to be restored, it's going to be better, and I'm ready to see that, because my heart felt so broken, and I just went to bed having that thread of hope there at the end, but also really discouraged for these characters at the same time. In fact, I went online and I was there to buy volume 17 digitally. And I was like, well, Laura, it'll be out in a month. Why don't you just wait and it'll be here? And I was like, I want it now. But I'm like, if you buy this, you're going to buy the next volume. And I'm like, well, I don't have room in my budget for both, but I knew me. So sticking with the physicals, I know, or at least I'm going to believe things are going to get better. They better, because I don't want to be devastated one more time. That was really hard, even though it was a really good volume, even if I felt very crushed at the same time. We also got the physical, though honestly I think the physical has been out for a hot minute, but I finally got around to reading my physical, and that's Love That's Understatement volume 3. I'm not sure what to say about this because volume 7 is fresh in my mind, and then volume 4, yes, volume 4 of the physical is out. You can go order it. It released this past Tuesday, and I do have mine already locked in. Should be here by Monday. Hopefully there'll be no delays or anything, but I love just being back with the characters. I really enjoy seeing, at least be reminded of Risa in the beginning, of how she really wasn't nearly as vocal as she has been in the latest volumes. It was very wonderful to see how she's starting to take those small steps, admitting like, hey Zen, I do miss you, even though originally she's like, no, I won't miss you, exams are coming up. I was like, oh, like poor Zen. Very much love this series. Another series that I'm double dipping on because I just enjoy it so much. It's very wonderful. If you love delinquent romance, totally check it out. And thankfully, I will say the paper quality was a lot better than it was the previous volume, and very much hope that the next volume will be the same. Next up is Yen Press, and I have 2 different volumes from them, and that is the first one being The Failure at God School Volume 3. And let me just say, if you read Volume 1, you loved it, and then you got to Volume 2, and you're like, well, I still like it, but I didn't love as much as Volume 2, at least that was true for me. I felt Volume 3 was sort of going to be the one where it makes or breaks in terms of, do I keep collecting this? Wow, y'all, this was fantastic. This volume blew me away wow. I feel if you are really wanting to see the heart of the mystery, yes, there's been some questions asked, but there are certain things that happen, especially with her brother, that was such a turning point and a game changer that I do not know what's going to happen next in the series. I had no idea what was going to happen in the first place, but when it comes to the mystery, it has gotten so much bigger, and I don't know what Nagi's going to do. Before, I felt like it was okay. She knows she has powers. She's not really sure what they are, how to use them kind of thing, but she's at this magical academy. She needs good grades. Now it's like, yes, that part is still true, but there's such a bigger thing that is revealed in this volume that changes the course of everything, where it's not just going to be Nagi needs to focus on her studies and do good. No, there is so much more, and there is something, yeah, that happens at the end. There's a reveal of a character, and I'm like, I don't even know what to say because the spoilers about like this, you know, like looking at the page, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish I knew somebody reading it, because shout out to Yen Press, they sent me a review copy of this. I'm extremely thankful. It was so good, and just, I didn't know who to talk to because I had it early, so all I could do was say, read this volume, because yes, I am locked in with this series. I'm excited to see what is going to happen, what is to come, because of the things that have been revealed. Like, we need answers now. We need answers. It was great. Can't recommend it enough. I'm very much locked in. I do have first impression, and I love volume 1. I thought it was fantastic, and then volume 2 was great, but I'm like, it didn't quite grip me the same way. But now volume 3 has gripped me, I think, more so than even volume 1 did, and that was already fantastic. Now, this series never, I guess you would say, dipped, for the lack of a better word. I don't really like saying it like that, because I don't think Failure at God School dipped either. Just things were different and changed. But in Another World, My Sister Stole My Name, volume 4, y'all, when it arrived, boom, I was reading it, and things have come out. Things have come out. And I'm just like, oh my goodness. If there was only like one complaint I had, look how short that volume is. Look how short it is, which maybe it's not. No, Failure at God School is thicker, but I just wanted more. We have seen the backstory. We know the information. And I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm like, things surely will only be on the up and up when it comes to this, but I'm nervous. I'm nervous because the things are out. I almost keep saying a spoiler, because things are out. What is her sister going to do? What is Ichika's sister going to do now? Like, people know. People know, and if they don't know exactly what the information is with our male lead and how he's acting, they're gonna be like, yo, something is up. Something is up, because he has had a change in how he addresses her and talks to her, and I'm loving it. It's so sweet. I'm like, yes, like, I'm sorry I ever doubted you in the beginning. Yes, I was not a fan of him at all, but now, yes, and I think the mystery was woven in very good in the terms of things weren't lining up, and then when things come out, it was great, and I was so excited. I was so very excited. So hopefully volume 5, I think volume 5 is out in Japan, I think. Hopefully, I know the latest chapter updated on whatever website it serializes on, because I saw the thing and I was like, what character is that? Yeah, so I know it's still ongoing. I'm like, please, let us get a new volume soon, because, and hopefully not only that, but it's going to give us some romantic fluff. And when it came to the magical aspect, like, yes, that was good. I'm glad that she came and helped her sister, like Ichika, man. She's just going above and beyond, even though she is hurting when it comes to her relationship with her sister, which is so hard. Like, Karen, be nicer, girl. Do better. Do better in the next volume. I believe in you, like, please. And, don't do anything bad. Let things please be really good in the next volume. Next up is 7 Seas, and when I mentioned earlier that I reviewed the Wolf Prince manga in Gust and Beats, I also, in that first impression, read Betrothed to My Sister's Ex Volume 1. I really like this. I did mention out of those 3 volumes that I did a first impression of, this was my least favorite in terms. I liked it. I already have Volume 2 on pre-order. I checked, and I have Volume 3 on my pre-order list, okay? So I'm not dropping it or anything like that. I did get a few concerned DMs. I'm still going. I was impatient. And I was specifically impatient because I love Marie. She is a fantastic character, and I want nothing but her happiness, and I'm ready to see that happiness unfold. But realistically, I know Maria needs to heal. She needs to find healing. And I'm so thankful that our male lead, I mean, he is smitten with her. This is like a trope of he fell first and he fell harder kind of thing. I don't know if that's a trope, but that is what happens. I really, really liked it, and it just hurt and broke my heart when he's saying these things. Like, he even outright tells her, I like you, and she doesn't believe it because of how she's been treated by her family. It was very, very hard. I know good things are coming, and I've just got to be patient and wait for those good things. So don't worry, I'm still reading. Just to reiterate there, friends, because again, I know I got concerned DMs, and I think the art style is beautiful. I have not watched the anime, and I have not read the light novel, so I can't compare in terms of which one's the best or better or anything like that. But I have heard it's a very faithful adaptation, and I'm excited to see where things go, and really, really, really hope that Maria continues to heal and genuinely finds happiness and realizes she's not in a dream. This is reality. This is your new reality, girl, and it is great, and you totally deserve all the happiness and more. This was actually my first read of March, and that is Glass with a Chance of Delinquent, but it's funny, I read the first half in January, and then I read the second half at the beginning of March. And then I reread the whole entire thing near the end of March as well, and I loved it. This volume was everything. It has one of my favorite top 3 scenes of the home date or house date that happens. I loved it so much, and I really love like thinking back of seeing Momo. This was such a critical point for her, I feel like, in her deciding how much she wants to stay with Ichikura. How much does she care for him? It has been known that yes, she does care for him, but I really think before that house date that she has to make a decision. And is she going to stay with Ichikura because she feels insecure, sort of inferior due to somebody else who I absolutely love that character as well. So I really love how she fought in that moment. Oh, actually, that was sort of happening, and that was happening in volume 4. Don't mind me, but I do feel though, after all of that happening in volume 4, we're seeing that confirmation of how she is locked into this relationship. Not that they were ever unsteady or anything like that, but I just feel like it really spoke a lot for her. And so being able to see them bask in this relationship and seeing how much she cares for him, like yes, and Ichiguro, he definitely cares for her, but I can't say anything there because I'm up to date. And I don't want to actually give spoilers or anything. I'm excited for the new arc. Very, very excited. We meet a new character, these guys right here, and they are so great, even though the first impression of this guy is pretty bad. It is pretty bad. And I was with Momo that he was pretty crappy at first. Like he could have said things so much differently, and very excited for the school festival and all that's to come with that. It's just going to keep getting better and better. And just as always, really, really love this series and love this volume specifically. Next up, we have volume 3 of Recurring in a Mafia Dating Sim. Oh my goodness. Listen, I love Francesca's character. I really, really do. I think she's strong. I think she's great. And I think she's a wonderful heroine, but she's a tad bit naive. And I really feel like this volume showed just how naive she was. There was a lot of friend zoning, intense friend zoning. And I feel bad for Leonardo, but man is taking it like a champ. He knows. He knows. I mean, Francesca's made her first friend, and that is Leonardo. And they're doing things that friends do, but that also fiancés could do together as well when you're engaged. And Leonardo again sees this, but our sweet Francesca does not. She does not see it. And it was just very entertaining in that sense of her realizing all these other things, but just not realizing the friendship here that is unfolding and what it could look like to other people since they are engaged. I enjoyed it though. It was a blast to read, though I will say that the ending, what a cliffhanger once again. But this one was a pretty scary cliffhanger. I mean, well, the last one was pretty scary too, but this one, I don't know what exactly happened. And that I will say, that brings me to mention, I do love how this series has very similar tropes to the villainous genre and even things with otome games, but I love how Francesca cannot predict how it will end because she doesn't know how the game ends due to certain reasons. So there's still this big looming questioning because there are times where I feel like she's a little bit overly too much questioning and in her head thinking, well, what's going to happen? Is this guy doing this? And is this person doing this? And what does this mean? But when I realize like she doesn't know what's going to happen, then I'm like, oh, you don't know, so that's why you're asking all these questions. Wish you would have asked those questions a little less personally, but still a fantastic volume. I cannot wait for volume 4 and see what happens, hoping things are okay based off of how it ended. And last but not least, Mr. Villain's Day Off volume 7. And what is there to say? This was wonderful. I had pandas. I think my favorite chapter is when they are all trying to, different people, I should say, were trying to open the packet. One of them was with soy sauce. This is one of my favorite panels where our villain here is like, soy sauce is a necessity. I thought that was really funny and love how intense it is. Out of context, it's pretty wild because, okay, yeah, like soy sauce is a necessity. Okay. One of my other favorite chapters is with the convenience store worker and her really wanting to recommend something to our villain. I love this panel of her. She was so cool. Love how that chapter unfolded. I love how, too, there's just some misunderstandings, even though they're sort of like legit. Oh, goodness. And I did like this moment as well. It sort of ties in with the convenience store scene a little bit where our villain's saying something and he cries out and he's like, oh, the guy's like, what's going on? Is that we are being attacked? And no, pandas were involved. So it was great. I did love how we got the backstory with Blue, right? The Blue Ranger. That really tugged at my heartstrings a whole bunch. And I just, man, I feel a little bit bad for the Rangers because I feel like this one was a little bit more insightful, that these Rangers seemed to have had families before they became Rangers and taken into this place. We see a little bit from the perspective of one of the family members. It was hard. Like, this series will like make you laugh the whole way through, and then you get to the end and they're like, hey, here's a really emotional chapter that's gonna make you cry. Like, could we not? Could I just end on a happy note and not over here wiping tears from my eyes? I would appreciate that, okay? It's good. It's great storytelling, though. Really, really enjoyed it. Wonderful art, as always. Cannot remember if we're caught up with this series in Japan, but I really hope we get Volume 8 because I really love when we get it and just enjoying the fun fluffiness of it all. It's great. Continues to be great. As you can see, there were several great series or volumes that I really, really enjoyed. I hope it was a great month of reading for you. Let me know if we read any of the same things, or, you know, what was some of your favorite reads from last month? If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. Bye!